Hello, it's Nikki and welcome to a brand new episode. So today I want to share a reflection that I've had this week. It's been a busy week. It's Friday today and I'm really glad, I have to say. This weekend I'm going to just turn off my laptop and just have some chill time. I wanted to share with you this reflection that I've had based on these two talks that I've delivered. Now, as you will know, or maybe not, I speak a lot. I can't speak now. I speak a lot. I deliver talks and workshops and masterclasses, and I'm part of panels, and it's very much part of my income pie. And this is an interesting, I guess, seesaw that I straddle. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Come on, Nikki, get a grip. So this sense of knowing that I've done enough and knowing when there's more to do. And this is always a work in progress for me. Because I have to say, I usually go the other way, like, oh my goodness, I've got to do more. And I really grew up with that, we'll just work harder type situation. So I never struggle with, I'm not wearing this as a badge of honor, but I never struggle with work ethic. If the job needs doing, I'm all over it, I'll get it done. And I've got a lot of staying power, I guess. But also I've learned to bring some gentleness to my business and some magic that cannot be quantified. Let me go into a bit more detail. So when I'm preparing for these talks, I've got a big bag of tricks that I go to time and time again. So these are things that I've built up over the last 10 to 15 years. Techniques, stories, case studies, anecdotes, exercises, frameworks. You'll have heard many of them on the podcast. But these have been with me as part of my journey. Yeah, the J word. And I know that there are so many things in there that are reliable. And there might be things that people have never heard before. And suddenly I think that I'm saying something that everybody knows. And then there's a moment of, I've never heard it said in that way before. So I guess there's a lesson first and foremost in there of being yourself on social media and saying things in your voice. And I know it's really difficult sometimes to do that because it requires bravery, it requires confidence, it requires a sense of being assured that this is going to be okay. But I promise, if you can do that, it will really help you. So these talks were the first of 2021. And even though I did lots of talks in 2020, I felt there was a new dawning for me. There was a new sense of what's next and how can I go broader and wider and deeper. And however tempting it is just to do the things that you've always done, that wasn't cutting it for me anymore. And I knew this was my time to mix it up a little bit. So, of course, I went back to my bag of tricks, which kind of lives on my desktop, and I looked at the brief of what was expected of me and the expectations that I wanted to meet. And then I went into this bag of tricks and I updated it. I looked at it. I got rid of some things. I deleted them from my computer. They no longer felt relevant. Also, there felt like there was a better way of doing the thing at the age and stage that I am. And this has been really interesting as part of my own self-development work away from business, is there are some stories that I used to tell that were very poignant at the time. Things 10 years ago that really needed to be shared with the world. And now I can look at myself and actually there are stories that don't need to be told anymore. They're not part of who I am. Or there's a better lesson that I can share. There's something more relevant. There's something more current that is going to be more useful. When I then looked at what I had, I really started to pull back the layers and consider, where do I need to go? How can I fully support these people who have given up an hour of their time to listen to what I've said? They're ready there with their pen and paper. And even though it was on Zoom, you can feel that energy. You can feel somebody being willing to be vulnerable, to open themselves up and say, I'm ready. I don't really know who you are, and I don't know if you're going to be for me, but I'm willing to give it a go. And that's quite often what can happen in these talks is I'm speaking to strangers. I'm speaking to people who are opening up their hearts and minds, and they don't really know what they're opening it up to. So I really have to take care of that. And I really have to think about how can I be most useful in that moment. And so the 2 talks that I delivered, there was an element of goal setting. There was an element of planning ahead and thinking about what, and I guess guiding people through what they wanted for this year. So when I was preparing the material, I had to think, this is not just about sharing the information. This is not just saying, this is how you set a goal properly. This is about bringing a 360 picture to this. And I always start, rightly or wrongly, from me, as in showing myself the case study, showing myself as that person who doesn't get it right all the time, who is very much a work in progress, who has started and failed, who has been and is insecure and full of self-doubt and uncertain, but also has moments where I'm so sure and I'm so on the money and I'm so bright and sharp and dynamic and all of those things that perhaps we shouldn't champion in ourselves. But I know when I'm on it and I have those moments, game changing, absolutely. And you will have those moments as well. And I guess what I had the realization this week was I am not interested in just doing generic things anymore. And I'm certainly not interested in being told what to do. As in, if you do 5 blogs per week, you're going to change your business. Yes, of course, by creating more consistent content, it's going to help get more eyes on your business. But this is about going deeper. This is about connecting with people, engaging not just with #first-name, but really being full of impact and delivering value. So today I want to invite you to listen to those nudges. What has been bubbling under the surface? What is that thing that you go, I need to talk more about that? Or everybody keeps asking me X, Y, and Z. What are those things? And even though it feels scarier to assess what those look like, trust yourself that they are coming to the surface for a reason. And slowly but surely consider how you can bring them into your business, because those are going to be the things that will allow you to stay for longer. Those will be the things that will welcome the DMs where people say, I've never heard it said in that way before. I know exactly what to do now. I'm excited, or I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Those are the moments that you want to cherish. I will leave it there. I would love to hear what you've taken away from today's session, and feel free, as always, to tag me in your content. I will share it and let me know where you're listening on your stories. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you soon. Lots of love.